Portugal junkies.
Hello.
We are coming to you from our couch
Yep.
in Tavira.
Yep.
And we are...
It's been a bit of a whirlwind.
It has. It's been a crazy, crazy week, and we're really excited to share it with you.
Yeah.
However, we ask you for some grace because
Audio.
this may not be our best setup in the new apartment.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling, as you can probably tell, with a cold. Like a pretty nasty cold.
Yeah.
So I'm sucking on my tea. Mark's having some wine.
I'm taking one for the team.
Yeah, because I think that would make me feel better drinking wine.
Well, you know, I can waft it across to you. Like, Can you smell that great?
So, we're very excited
Yes.
because we're here.
We
We're
are.
here in the Algarve.
In the Algarve.
I say that laughingly. It's not really how you say it, but
No,
I pick on the English.
that's not how the English say it.
I don't know. The
Well, that's how we
Algarve.
say it if we want to try.
You're trying to be hoity?
If some people are trying to be hoity and take the piss, they'll say, "Oh, go to the Algarve." Yeah.
Can you also explain to the audience what taking the piss is?
Yeah, just like taking the mick.
And what's taking the mick?
Taking fun out of somebody.
Picking on somebody.
Yeah.
I was told back when we first started dating that I should never say in front of his mother, "Oh, stop taking the piss."
Right.
Taking the mick
That would
is
be
okay.
perfectly acceptable.
Taking the piss is a little bit too rude. So
Yeah, I think more so for her generation.
now he's doing it in a public forum.
Yeah, that's
Hypocrite.
because... Yeah, but you're not my mum.
She might be listening.
I've told her not to listen to some.
Edited.
Yeah, I'll re-edit some.
Okay, so let's tell the moving story.
Okay.
So we were supposed to move Tuesday, October 1st. And we got a call on Thursday or Friday from our new landlord, who is like salt of the earth.
Really nice.
Like, I think that I just adore him already. He's the nicest person on the planet. And he called Mark and was like, "The apartment's ready. Like, you guys can come anytime you want." And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and we were like, "Can we make that happen?"
And in my head, I was secretly thinking, "Oh crap! It means I've got to try and reorganise X, Y, and Z."
Because our plan was to, we had already reserved like a moving van because we don't have that much stuff. Although, as we packed 11D7 like grocery bag, carrier bags, I was like, why do we still have so much stuff?
Yeah.
But we edited our reservation and we got another vehicle and we ended up moving on Saturday instead of Tuesday.
Which was, I think it worked out really well.
Yeah.
Overall. I mean, 12 hours from the moment of leaving the house to go and pick the van up.
Yeah.
To being sat here with everything unpacked from the van.
Eating dinner.
Eating dinner at 8 o'clock in the evening.
It was really
and
good.
that included like a 6 hour.
Yeah, it was a 6-hour journey from Porto to here because we stopped a couple times in the pub.
But generally speaking, overall it was very good. I was kind of, not worried, but I was kind of aware that I'm going to be driving a manual, which I haven't driven a manual for years.
On the wrong side of the road.
On the wrong side of the road. On
in
the wrong side
of the car.
So
you were worried. I was worried.
Hand to foot coordination.
You did a great job, though.
Was going to be a thing. But I mean, for anybody that might even have a worry about it, it's so
comes right back to you.
So weird how it just like muscle memory.
Yeah.
I'm straight back.
Thank goodness. And you did really, really well, and I'm not even sucking up. Like, I was really proud of Mark's driving skills, because...
I didn't swear at anybody, but I think maybe once. I'm not sure. Anyway.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, you can't do a drive and not swear at nobody.
Somebody.
I mean, you've got to do it at least once.
So we got here, we unpacked, we packed up the van in Porto in an hour and a half total. And then we made the drive, we got down here, and we unloaded the van in an hour.
Yeah.
It was the easiest move of my life, and I'm like, I've moved a lot of times. Like, my family, my nephews would be like, "Mimi, you have moved like 27 times." And I'm like, yeah, that's probably about right. No joke. Like, that's probably about right. This is the easiest move we've ever done.
Yeah. I mean, you always
Okay, so
worry
thankful.
about parking on the street as opposed to, when you move from your neighbourhood where you've got to drive and you can park the van there and you can take your time and do whatever. You know, you park in a van in one of the busiest streets in Porto.
Yeah, it was. We were
on the
lucky.
curb, all the rest of it. We got very lucky. It was right outside the front door.
Yep.
Got here, and again, this is more of a suburbia.
Oh yeah,
Like
definitely.
in that
We are living. Even though we're a 10-minute walk into Tavira proper, I would call our neighborhood like a true neighborhood, like a suburban. You were not walking a block to a grocery store or something.
No.
There's a little bit more, involved in that. But I guess what you were saying is it made it easy once we got here because it didn't matter where we were parking because there's hardly any traffic.
Yeah, but the fact that we were directly outside the front gate.
Yeah.
To the apartment, and the
It was
apartment
just
is at the
super
front
easy.
gate, so it was like, oh my gosh, dream come true.
And then, of course, here's the thing. Like, while all this was going on and we were just so freaking excited to get here, we've honestly, it's been a couple of really hard days for both of us because of the devastation that has happened in part of our world, which is Western North Carolina. We lived in Charlotte. We got married in Asheville.
Yeah.
It's been so much a part of our history together, but mine too. I grew up, my grandparents lived in Old Fort, which was really hit badly. And it's just been really, it's felt like I've been torn this week. I'm so excited to be in this beautiful paradise in a new place in Portugal and just like kind of romanticized about how beautiful everything is, how sunny it is, how every corner you're just like, this is gorgeous. And then honestly, my heart is just broken inside. It really is. It is broken. We have been struggling with the footage and the suffering and these people are just cut off.
The loss of
they're just cut off.
everything.
From everything, and there's just been so much death already and many more that are missing, and it's just really hard because we're hearing personal stories because we are connected there, and it's just, I don't know, I just say that because we both wanted to acknowledge this tragedy that has happened in our neck of the woods, and
I think it's important from our perspective as well. At the end of the day, we're on this journey. We've got all of these experiences that are behind us and the ones that we don't know yet that are in front of us. But I can't imagine in a case where we would be so disadvantaged by some act, some hurricane or something happening to us. I just, in our moment now.
Oh,
I just
here,
don't,
you mean geographically where we are.
I just don't see how we could feel what it's like.
I know.
You can empathise, you can embrace and understand some things, but you're not going to feel.
Yeah, it's not happening to us. Right. But I just wanted to say that for those listening. If you can support, please do. We will be. And I just, it's been a little bittersweet. I'm not going to lie. I even told my family, I was like, I haven't posted or sent much to anybody about this beautiful place we're in.
Right.
Because it feels like I feel guilty.
You don't want to be, you don't want to be seen as like, I'm just going to use the phrase of like rubbing it in someone's face. It's like, oh my God,
we're having such a, what it would feel like.
What it is.
Right.
You know, oh, I'm having such a great time here and etc. And we are.
Like a little self-absorbed.
But you can take days or weeks or whatever, step back. You can enjoy it for what it is, and you know, without feeling that you're, without feeling like you're rubbing it in.
Yeah. Well, it's never our intention.
And that's never an intention, but
that's how I felt this week. Where it's like I'm so excited and it's so beautiful and I can't wait to share everything with everybody. Right. But and this week didn't feel like the week to do it.
I think that will happen. It's going to happen. But there are times when
we're still doing this podcast, and it's it's something that we're dedicated to. So
I mean, we're not going to shy away from things that don't happen to us, but happen to others.
Yeah.
You know, just because we've moved out of the US.
In fact, I think I don't know, it's interesting. We did an episode about loss. This feels like loss in a whole different way, but the effects are the same. You can be across an ocean and still feel it very, very clearly and very raw. Yeah. So anyway, we are sending all of our love and prayers and support to everyone over there. Yeah. And I'm so thankful for the people that I'm seeing who are boots on the ground and the helpers.
Yeah.
You know, that's when community really comes together, and it makes me proud. And, you know, it's been tough for the past few years about what community really means, and are we kind to each other, and all of that stuff in America. And when things like this happen, that's when you see people come together. Well, it will
show the true colours.
That's right, which is good.
Which is a good thing.
So this has been such a wonderful week, but that has been such a tough part of it, and it made us reflect. So the other day we walked into town, and it was yesterday, and we had a seafood meal along the river, and we were talking about this. We were talking about having these moments, even just in the first week, of how different it feels here than Porto. So what do you think feels different?
It was within a couple of days. I felt more of a
connection to it.
I felt more sort of grounded, I suppose, in a way.
We have been, putting more effort into making the space something that I feel like is more long term. I think that's what it is, where it's like we loved our apartment in Porto. It came furnished. We literally could move our clothes in and our toothbrush, and we're good, right? We didn't add that much more to it than that. And I think that when you know that you're not going to be there for long term, you don't do that. Right. And when you think that you
still want to stay light and mobile.
Yeah. And I think what it comes down to is that maybe we both look at this place and go, oh. Yeah. This immediately has opportunity to stay much longer than 7 months or 8 months that we were in Porto. 10 months.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think it's just a completely different feel. But here's the one thing I would say, and we've spoken about this, that if I'd have come here first, I probably would not have wanted or chosen necessarily
to leave
to explore other parts of Portugal because it's so pleasant, it's so warm, it's just really, really beautiful buildings.
Aesthetically stunning.
Yeah.
And the climate is amazing.
Yes, in Porto we were close on the river, and you've got all of the things, but it's just a different feel.
It feels like a resort.
Yeah.
It feels like a nice
I think ultimately
place.
It's going to get to the point sort of 2 weeks in to being here, and I'm going to be, as an Englishman, I'm thinking, oh crap, I've got to go home now. My holiday's finished. And it's suddenly going to be, no, it hasn't. It's just started.
You're on holiday.
Right, and I think that's another reason why I have an instant feel for this place. And whether this place is the Algarve in general or Tavira specifically, don't know yet, way too soon to say. But the idea of not facing too much rain in the coming months, that's a big pull. Yeah. It's a big pull.
I do think, and we've talked about it before, we've basically gone from one extreme to the other. In a lot of different ways. But, Porto being the second biggest city in Portugal, and then moving to a small town like Tavira, it is exactly opposite. Yeah. But I'd also say that weather is pretty opposite, and I would also say that the lifestyle and the hustle and bustle is completely different too.
Yeah.
So it does feel different here, and it's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Not that I am disparaging at all our experience in Porto. We've said it 100 times. Like, it is the coolest city, but it is a city, and we set out to experience something different. And I think just being here for 4 or 5 days, we're like, oh my gosh, I feel so much more relaxed.
Yeah.
And think back to what it was before when we were, running the rat race in corporate life in Charlotte. And then we moved to Portugal and we moved to Porto. And how you could breathe better then. And now it's even more relaxing. So it's interesting. It's almost like an addiction. Like, where's the next place that
I don't know,
go
but if it's going to be any more relaxing than this, I'm probably going to need to carry a defib.
Defib?
Just in case my heart stops. Because I'm like, that's chill. Oh, this is chiller.
That's awesome.
Chiller. Again, is it the sun that does that? Probably.
For the Englishmen, probably.
But again, just the opportunity to explore these experiences are phenomenal.
And I looked at him yesterday and I was like, don't you think my parents would just love it here? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, okay guys, come on over. Like, get on a plane. It just feels like, I can't describe it other than right now, my perspective is it's like the most beautiful beach town that I've probably ever seen.
Yeah.
It's got that European feel, but it's the fact that, there's a castle in the middle of the town and there's a river running through it and the beaches are awesome. And specifically here in our apartment, we have a lot more green space for the dog. We have a pool just outside the door.
Which we're not responsible for, so that's even better.
Yeah, the neighborhood is just gorgeous. We're literally surrounded by like these huge homes that are like bajillions of dollars, way out of our price point. But
they are.
Our little apartment complex is right here.
We're going to get to know some of them.
Oh yeah, we've already met our neighbors.
They've got great views.
Yeah. So anyway, it feels really good so far, and it's just exciting.
Yeah.
To share that.
Yeah, and again, it's coming from the hustle and bustle to the calm and quiet. I'm really looking forward to what energy is that going to give me. Yeah. To do more in terms of working. Yeah. And when I say working, I mean
projects that we like.
Yeah, projects and like all of the things that we've spoken that we want to do, things that drove us to start this journey a year ago anyway. So I do feel that I'm in a more relaxed place to actually set foot forward. As a creative person, I feel like the more relaxed I am, the more creative I can be too. Right. The more stressed I am, the less. Yeah, because you always feel like, oh my God, I'm under the gun. So we thought that to wrap up our episode today, we would throw out some fun facts about Tavira so that you guys can get to know it a little bit more, right? So, population of Tavira. So Tavira city, or the town, it's not really a city. Or is it? It's a city. It's a city. It's a small city. It's about 15,000 people in the city, but the municipality of Tavira is about 25, 26, depending on when. And that might be as of a couple of years ago. Yeah, I think it's 2023. Right. It's got 7 beaches if you count Cabanas de Tavira, which is just up the road. Yeah. The actual beaches are on the island of the Ilha de Tavira. Ilha de Tavira. Yeah. There's 7 of those. 6 of them are absolutely fantastic blue flags. There's only what does it mean to be blue flag again? It's to do with the quality of the water, the sand, the environment, the cleanliness. Love it. All of that. The 7th beach has not been given a blue flag. Because it's a nude beach? Because it's a nudist beach. So I told him I might be willing to go half. I'm not going full nude on the beach. Yeah, I might go half. Move along. Okay, so 7 beaches, but here's the thing. 11 kilometres long. White sandy. White sand, all the way. And that's what I'm used to growing up with in the beaches of on the east coast of North Carolina, so it makes me very happy. Yeah. And you can catch a ferry from the main town, like from the town square, essentially. So what, a mile from here maybe? Not even. Yeah, maybe. Walk a mile from here. 15 minutes max from us. To hop on the ferry for €2 or something like that. I think it's €1.50 return. It's something ridiculous. It takes you over there
drops you off, and it's almost like where they drop you off, it's kind of like you walk a little ways, and it kind of makes me feel like you're going to camp. Did it make you feel that way? It was like you walk a little ways to get to the other side of the island where the beach is, and what you do is you walk by
where all the restaurants,
where all of these restaurants are, which is amazing to me, to be able to go there for a day or a half day or whatever, spend some time on the beach and then have lunch, and there's a beach bar.
That's what we did the first time, wasn't it?
It was so awesome.
Yeah.
So on the beach, when you get to Ilha de Tavira, there are like so many cabanas that you can rent that are just right there already for you. And then there's so much space after that that's just clear. So if you like to do your own thing and
you
set
can
up
take
your own space,
stuff.
You can. Yeah. It's just gorgeous. I cannot wait. Like, we're already planning. I think it might be Saturday.
I think it's going to be Saturday.
We're going to go to the beach for the day.
So, but it's, I don't know, it just looks beautiful, feels beautiful.
They're world-renowned beaches. That's what I know.
Yeah.
And we've only been to the first one, Ilha de Tavira.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to going to all the others.
So having some fun with that.
Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, though, so we've already talked about Tavira and the size of it and the fact that it's known for its beaches and all of that other stuff. But if you want to know the actual location without looking at it on a map, so we're on the southern coast of Portugal, which is the Algarve. But we're considered Eastern Algarve because we're only 45 kilometers from Spain.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why I'm super excited, because we're going to be able to go explore in a different country in a pretty easy way. And then we're also about 30 minutes drive from Faro Airport?
Yeah, 35 minutes.
Something like that. So that's our closest airport, and there's also the train system that takes you there too.
Yeah.
There is a train here in Tavira, which we
we'll
talked
run
about.
the full length of the Algarve.
Yep.
You change maybe either Faro or Tunis.
Yeah, and if we wanted to go to the farthest point west
you
on the
can go
Algarve, it'd probably be
go as far
3.5 hours by train or something.
Yeah, you can go as far as Lagos, and then you've got to get a taxi or Uber. But then
So
that's another half an hour to
accessibility is really cool
to
other parts of the Algarve. I'm already excited about planning where else do we want to look at and see and experience and all of that. So it's really cool.
It is, and then you've got the history of Tavira as well. I mean,
I
don't want to get into
much
of the nuts and bolts of okay.
The one thing that comes to mind for this is this Moorish influence that you can see everywhere here. Think whitewashed walls and what kind of...
well, I don't know if they are an actual terracotta, but
they look
sort of
like terracotta
brown clay
rooftops. Yes, and a lot of the churches have that influence, and it's beautiful. But that's what I think of first when I think of the overarching kind of influence that you see historically here.
That's right. And again, you can walk around the town, and you'll see it everywhere. You'll see it certainly in some of the old buildings. Definitely in the
tile and the archways.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Just the cobblestones as well. They'll take you back to I don't know, 600-800 AD. Maybe even before that. But again, it's one of those things. I mean, I love the history of a place. I think one of the things why I didn't do too much or gain so much knowledge about Porto is because there was just so much of it. You just can't.
It was overwhelming.
But
at a little place like this, you could really become an expert.
If you wanted to get knowledge on the town, the city, the areas, it's a great place to lean into that.
The other thing, fun fact, and this was the number one reason why we moved here, is that this area only gets 50 total days of rain a year.
Approximately.
So,
I mean, I'll want my money back if it's 52. I'll give them 51, but 52 I want my money back.
That is exciting to both of us.
Oh,
and, we've talked a lot about the weather in Porto and how challenging that was, and so huge difference here. And not that we're not going to have, most of those days are in the winter.
Right.
So I think December is usually 8 or 9 days. That's usually the wettest
But again,
6 or 7 in January, and then
things may change. But from what you can read, it's not like you've got a whole day of torrential downpour. You know, in the
Right.
worst part of rainy days, it's even less than an inch.
right. Well, and the flip side of that is exactly what we have experienced, which is there are
dry
some.
and the fires.
Yes, it can get very dry, and there can be outbreaks of fires, like we just saw recently up in Porto, but also
Central
down
and North.
here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you got to take them both in the same space of I enjoy this, but there's
Right.
a trade.
Yeah. And I think, as usual, like anytime we've ever moved anywhere, it's like we always evaluate the cost of living there because you want to be fiscally responsible. And so I was looking up some details today because Mark turned me on to this awesome website. It's called Numbeo, and we have referenced it on here before.
Yeah.
Numbeo.com. Basically, you can take any city and compare it to any other city in terms of cost of living, and they'll give you the generalizations at the top, and then literally like tell you how much like a gallon of milk is in each place. So it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
It really helps you get some perspective about details of stuff that, especially as immigrants going, well, I don't even know like how much a loaf of bread is, right?
Yeah.
You can say, oh, groceries are less expensive there, but like what is it exactly? And so I like pulled this stuff up today, and I first compared Charlotte to Tavira, and it was 57% higher cost of living in general than in Tavira to live in Charlotte without rent. Okay,
Right.
This is removing rent. With rent, it was like 79% more to live in Charlotte. So that was like, wow. So then I wanted to compare Porto and Tavira, because my impression was that, because we've been here and we've experienced the prices of things as tourists, right? It was my impression that it could be a little bit more here just because you're in a popular small town that is full of tourists. So most everything is dedicated to tourism. For instance, all the, shops and restaurants along the river, they're probably not going to be the least affordable in the town.
Right.
But the differences between Porto and Tavira were not that huge.
No.
It was like a 3% difference, I think. What did I say? 2% increase from Porto to Tavira without rent.
Right.
So your daily,
paying,
utilities.
Yeah, but we're now
we're paying less in our rent. Yeah.
So one balances the other.
Yeah. So anyway, I found that really interesting too. If you have not checked out Numbeo.com, I should find an affiliate link for them.
You should really.
They are I love that. I could literally just compare and compare.
It's actually quite interesting, even if you're not thinking of moving. Just okay, where's more expensive? Because I live in this really high expense in California.
Right.
Where's more expensive than me? Just look around the world, and you'll find somewhere, I'm sure. But it's a good resource.
It's a great resource for immigrants or potential immigrants too. Just 100%. If you're just like, could I? Should I? Will it be a better financial situation? It is the coolest thing to just go down that rabbit hole. But.
Absolutely. And here, one of the other things I noticed about Tavira compared to Porto, and it's kind of obvious but worth pointing out. You can look on things like Get Your Guide, Viator, and I want a walking tour, or I want a tour around Porto, or some of the activities as a tourist that you might want to go and do. You look for them in Tavira, and it's like water-based. It's
water activities,
boating.
There's
very, very little in the way of a walking tour around town.
It's small.
There is one, and I think it's the one I looked at 2 days ago. It was like private tour up to 6 people. It's like $600.
It was a lot. I noticed that too.
Ridiculous.
It's because it's not a normal tour. It's not something that
it doesn't want to be at that price.
Yeah.
But again, just thinking, it's not a place you're going to walk around and get lost. you'll find yourself in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's where I am. I'm back here.
Probably less than 20 minutes.
Yeah. And I just really can see the difference between the tourism element of Tavira and Porto.
I can too, but it's just different.
Another reason why we didn't go to Algarve, even though we looked at it.
I agree.
And I don't want to be in Albufeira or Villamora or anywhere else like that.
Yeah.
Just because they're not what I want from Portugal. So here we are.
Here we are. And we're loving it. We hope that this has been a good first podcast episode from Tavira.
It was a landing. Okay, what should we talk about?
We have a lot to talk about.
We
have a lot to talk about.
But so hopefully the audio and the background isn't too distracting.
We'll figure it out.
Hopefully the missus will feel better next week.
Yes, sorry about the sniffles.
But other than that, thanks for coming.
Yes, thanks for following us along. Thanks for following us to Tavira.
Yeah.
Please send us any questions that you have. We're going to probably be doing an FAQ episode soon, so we're wide open books. Yep. If you have questions about the place, the reasons, anything that you're thinking of in terms of either traveling here in Portugal or potentially moving here.
Not just about Tavira. I mean, it's the whole thing has never been just about Porto.
Yeah.
It's been about Portugal.
That's right. So we're excited to continue the journey, and it's been awesome so far.
I think there'll be a lot more beautiful photos, pictures, videos, reels on TikTok.
Follow us on all the socials if you haven't. Send us messages, and I'm going to put a link down below on where you can support Hurricane Helene victims in the description. So please give if you can. Yeah. So thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Listen up, future expats. For more content about our move, the visa process, Portuguese culture and destinations, and tons of support resources for your own decisions and potential move abroad, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Portugal Junkies.
Stay in touch and help us reach more people by subscribing here and following us there.
Cheers, y'all!